Hi, this is Scott Handy again of Mr. Water. What we're going to do today, I'm going to go over the major components of a water softener, major components of a well system, give you a general understanding of how a water softener works, point out the general way your well system operates, and just give you an understanding of water softener and its components and how it operates. Okay, we're going to go ahead and focus in on the well line. I'm going to show you how the well line comes in from the wall here. Go ahead and focus in on that. Your wells in this house is in the backyard. It's a submersible pump. We'll go ahead and just follow the arrows on the well line, and we're going to go down here and look at the control mechanisms for the well system. What you have there on the right is the control box for the well pump, and there on the left what you have is a Pump Tech Plus. This is a device that monitors the output of the well pump, and in case you run out of water, it'll shut the well pump off so your well pump doesn't burn up. So back up here to the well line, you can see the arrows I've written on the piping there. We're going to go ahead and pan down and down onto the pressure switch. So we're going to go ahead and focus in here on your pressure switch. This is a pressure switch on your well system. This pressure switch senses the water pressure in your well system, and what it does, it cuts the well pump on and off. And when the water pressure gets down to say 30 pounds, it cuts the well pump on, and when it gets up to say 50 pounds, it cuts the well pump off. Right there is your pressure gauge. Of course it's turned so you can't see the pressure, but that's your pressure gauge. This of course is the well tank. We're going to zoom out, and this is a rather large well tank we have here. It's probably been in for a good 6 or 7 years, so it's getting a little bit rusty, but it's still operating fine. That yellow handle there is the main shutoff valve for the well system. So if you ever have a leak somewhere in the house, or you need to shut the water off for some reason, that's the main shutoff valve. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and back up a little bit here so you can see the white piping is the work that we've done here at Mr. Water. We're going to go ahead and pan up, and we're going to follow the arrows. As you can see, that's the raw H2O from the well. It goes up, goes over, and what we've done is we've plumbed in a outside hose bib to the raw water. This is done so if you want to water your grass or water your garden, it's not going through the water softener through the system, so it's not taxing the system. You're not using extra salt. And we're going to go ahead and pan over here to the pre-filter. Okay, this is a 30 micron pre-filter, and this is here to catch sediment, debris, any sand or silt that may be coming from your well system. It's worth noting that a water softener is not a filter, and all water softeners need to have a filter installed before them to catch the sand, the silt, the grit before they get into the system, to prevent any premature failure of the system. That's something most contractors don't do. Okay, we're going to focus in on the water softener. This is the actual resin tank that contains the water softening resin. We're going to go ahead and focus in on the water softener. You can see it's a fiberglass tank. It's almond in color, and you can see through it with a flashlight. We're going to focus in here on the control valve. The control valve is what operates the water softener. It puts it through its various cycles. And we haven't used the Auditrol Performa valve. We found this valve to be very reliable. We haven't had any issues with it at all. I've been using it now for almost 10 years and have had virtually no problems. Okay, before we go any further, I wanted to show you what was in a water softener. I'm going to go ahead and on top of this cardboard box, I'm going to go ahead and dump out a little water softening resin so you can see what it looks like. I brought a little bit of it along to give you an idea what's in a water softener. Just put a little bit in a plastic bag here. This is actually cation exchange resin. It's made out of polystyrene compounds. It's made out of plastic, and it's very durable. It'll virtually last forever in a water softener. It's inert. There's no chemicals in it. It's very efficient in the job that it does, and it's kind of neat stuff. You put it underneath a microscope, and it looks like a ball of twine that's wound up, and it has little pockets in it, little exchange sites, which allow the sodium ions to adhere to it, and gives it the properties that makes it water softening resin. Okay, this is a close-up of the Auditrol valve that we use. This is a very reliable valve. I have had years of service, haven't had any problems whatsoever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the pathway of the water. Of course, the water comes out of the pre-filter, goes this way, and goes into the bypass. Now, the bypass, you can turn it that way and this way. What it does, it opens up this little bar here and allows the water to travel this way and up into the house. This is here to, in case the tank was to leak, you were to have some kind of problem with the system, you wouldn't have to shut the water off to the house. So we'll go ahead and turn these back to the service mode, and that's a close-up of your valve. Okay, next I want to give you a close-up of the electronic controls here. We're going to zoom in and get you a good close-up so you can see what the electronic controls look like on this water softener. There we go. Okay, on the upper right hand side you'll see a 5. That shows it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the time. If you look there just to the left of the number 5, you'll see the little dot there next to the PM button. It's just like your alarm clock. It shows it's 5 p.m. That light that's flashing is the flow, and that shows that you're running water through your water softener, using water in the house. The control on the left hand side, let me see if I can get in a little closer on that. Zoom in. Okay. This shows you what cycle the water softener's in when it goes through a backwash, slow rinse, fast rinse, refill, and conditioned water. So there are your basic controls. Very simple, straightforward, easy to understand. Next I'm going to show you the major components of your resin tank. This is your riser tube. This goes down the center of the tank, right about there. And they come a little bit long. This one's cut to length, right about there. Has a basket on the bottom which acts as a screen which prevents the resin from getting up into the house. And we'll set this right here. This is a 32,000 grain water softener, which means it has a cubic foot of resin, 32,000 grain. The resin level's right about here in the tank. I'm going to go ahead and shut the light off.